Hello and thank you for watching Lakerland with me and my left-hand man, Matt, in the cut. That's Lakers? Wait, that's Lakers?
I don't know if you can see the logo.
Ah! I didn't even realize that, bro. It just looked like some fly shit. You know what I mean?
Big lake, big chip, feel me?
I hear you. I hear you. How you been, bro? Everything straight?
Everything straight always, bro. Just want to chip. Can't
Of
complain.
course. Of course. As long as we got that championship, we can't really complain, can we?
Still
But
celebrate.
for real, man, I'm still waiting for the parade. What's going on in LA? Come on. We
Nah,
need the
for real.
parade. We need the parade, even though we in Poconos. We ain't going to be there. But today we are going to finish off our season reflection of the 2019-2020 season. It felt like majority of 2020 season. And it felt like that because let's start it off with the bang, man. So we ended the last video with the big weekend we had, beating the Bucks, the Sixers, the Clippers, and it felt like we were on top of the world. Nobody talks about that Nets loss because who gives a shit?
Right.
Because right after, not only did the season stop, bro, it felt like the world stopped when,
Right.
Rudy Gobert decided to freaking palm a mic.
It's crazy. I feel like a lot of people forgot about that, but I definitely did not forget. Rudy Gobert was wilding, bro, and he really shut down the whole league. I mean, it was probably bound to happen, but it
It
was
was
the
done.
fact that it happened like that through him in that fashion. I'm not gonna forget that one, but that
The
was
fact that he did that, and then it was fun, we find out Rudy Gobert, the first NBA player to test positive. That
word,
was
bro.
the
And you remember
craziest
all
turn
the
of
clips of
events.
him just not taking nothing serious, him rubbing up on Donovan's face, and then guess what? Nah, Donovan positive. Like, really, now you know what I'm saying? Like, that's some crazy stuff. Like, and then, like, us as Lakers fans, we on a roll. You know what I'm saying? We like, yeah, it's late, like, confident, championship time. We ready for the playoffs. What happens? League shut down. Now we back in like one of those lockout periods where like you just don't know what's gonna happen. Are we gonna come back? Are we gonna just sacrifice the season? Because it was looking like it was slow. Like it was heartbreaking, bro. I felt like we really just lost the whole chance at the championship.
Did you think the season was gonna end, bro?
The thing is, bro, I had full confidence in Adam Silver and trying to work something out, but just realistically, just looking at the circumstances that was at hand, like it didn't seem like it was gonna come back anytime soon. And then if it was gonna come back, it was probably going to be to a new season, I was thinking. Because what's the point of going back to a season that happened a year ago or 6 months ago? You know what I'm saying?
Where I stood on it, bro, is I'm not gonna lie. I took COVID in the very beginning stage very unserious. I was like, I think me and you were texting about it. We were making jokes about it. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, bro, once the NBA shut down, that kind of woke me up, and I was like, okay, hold up. You take away my ball, then that means something is real right here. I remember that whole day vividly because we
In the
were we,
middle of the game.
we were
Like, it
on
was about to tip off.
bro, we were on a high. We were feeling super good. I come home, and I think this is during spring break of my college semester. It's spring break. I come home from my job, and my girl's chilling in my crib and whatnot. She takes a nap, and like before she takes a nap, the whole world is fine. It's like everything's going normal. She wakes up, bro. NBA season is done. Rudy Gobert has COVID. Tom Hanks has corona. He's somewhere like crazy.
Yeah.
This was all the same day, and this was the first real day where it slapped me in the face, and I was like, "All right, man,
Yeah, more
this
and
shit
more
just
people
got real."
started, yeah, because at the time, just in general with the world, nobody knew what this corona stuff was, right? And like in the beginning stages, there was talks and whatever, and there might have been like a couple infections here and there, but nobody really imagined it would get to this point until you start seeing celebrities coming out one by one. Somehow, oh,
Rudy
I
Gobert might have been like the first real person with like COVID, bro, like the big person.
well, definitely in the league, he was definitely the first real person, and then it was just like a snowball effect from there.
And
Like you
that,
said, Tom Hanks, and then like actors from this world, actors from this world,
yeah, man.
everybody just coming out testing positive, and everybody seemed to be okay. You know what I'm saying? They just had to go into the little quarantine period, and that was like the positive part about it is everybody was kind of optimistic on the effects of it so far, and but nobody knew in terms of health for the fans and just for everybody, like the staff, in terms of restarting an NBA season, how well that would turn out.
Yeah. So honestly, when everything first happened, and I remember like a few games before the NBA shut down. I don't know if you remember, but they asked Bron. They were like, "Yo, how would you like playing with no fans?" And LeBron was like,
Fuck out of here.
"What are you talking about? No fans? I play for the fans." And then
Right.
like all of a sudden, it's like everything turns. And I treated it like LeBron. I was like, "Shut up, man. What are you stupid ass question?" And then few days later, it's like, hold on, am I getting the NBA season back? At first, they suspended it for like 2 weeks, and then they'll reevaluate. So I'm like, okay, maybe we out for 3 weeks. We'll pick right back up. We'll be fine. Then like a week later, the cases just started going up. A week after that, it was like cases start going up. Where where I was, I'm sure it was by you because we only 2 hours away. We in the same state, but like my part was a lockdown, and I'm pretty sure yours was too because you're Philly, and that's even worse. So, and now I couldn't even leave my crib really. Like they said, only for emergency. So like when I got to go to Walmart and whatnot. So I'm like, bro, if this season is done and this is the first time in 10 years Lakers is playing like we actually know how to dribble a basketball, I'm going to be sick.
Heartbreaking, bro. There's really like, how do you even explain that to somebody? And that's why I felt like I had confidence in Adam Silver because if there's one thing he thinks about, it's the players and the fans. Like, how do you explain to the fans that, oh, sorry, that season is just gone? You can't just have a disappeared season. Like, you can't just do that. And I felt like every league felt that way. Every league was in desperation mode. MLB, they was going through it. NFL, they're still trying to fight. And everybody took like a little different approach to how they're trying to figure it out. But I think in the end, the way Adam Silver worked with the players and just outsource external sources, they figured out like the perfect way to execute the playoffs and an extended season. And no cases.
Bro, that's the number. That we talk about stats. Talk about a stat, man. That's zero. When they
Zero cases.
proposed the idea of the bubble, and they like there was like little sprinklings of it back then, and they were like, all right, maybe they do Vegas, maybe they do Orlando, which they ended up rocking with. And I was cool with either or, obviously. But in my head, I didn't realize all the intricacies behind it.
It's deep.
I didn't think about all the meals they need. I didn't think about, and they went even deeper than what I thought. Like in my head, I'm like, all right, once you have a bubble, you have a bubble. Like if nobody's positive, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they still were like, nah, wear your mask. Nah, you got to.
That's every day.
The cookers had to bring it to here, and I don't know if you ever seen. There was one video, I think I sent it to you, but the chef had to send it to one point, and from that point it went to this person's hand, from that person, and it was. And then the bubble happened, and we see the crappy food, and I'm just like, bro, I don't know how this is gonna work out now that we're here.
Right.
But once again, Adam Silver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say.
A problem presents itself. You know what I'm saying? He absorbs it. He deals with it, and he always executes. You know what I'm saying? He's always gonna execute. He's always gonna get the right people involved. Like I said, I think the key point was working with the Players Association because you can't get nothing going without the players if they don't agree. Like there's a lot of people who wasn't with it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't want to go into a bubble and didn't want to be away from their people for 3 months at a time. And besides Corona, there's like social injustice going on in the streets. And a lot of these black people in the NFL and the NBA too feel like, how can I continue playing in this climate, right? Taking attention away from whatever is going on in the real world. So there's a lot of that going on. And working with Adam Silver, I just feel like he put everybody first with putting the social injustice messages on the court, on their backs, gave them the platform to speak. It wasn't just the bubbles, all of it was their platforms, the way he set them up to reach their full potential, couldn't really compromise themselves. And the people who didn't want to go there didn't have to go there. It wasn't mandatory. We had some people who didn't show up for us. So, you know what I'm saying? They considered everything. They considered all the possibilities. That's really all you could ask for.
What's crazy to me is, bro, we've seen all the sports come back at this point. Everybody figured, you know what, if this is a part of the real life, we're gonna have to roll with the punches. NBA is still, in my opinion, the best league that has actually applied a formula and made it work.
Right.
It's crazy. Like, obviously, they can't do a bubble all of next season, but it's like they found a solution to a problem
at the moment. Where
And that is absolutely incredible just to think of like obviously Adam Silver got a team, but Adam Silver and his team were literally able to not only figure out this whole bubble situation. And at first, even some of the living adjustments were trash. The food was bad. They got that fixed. People didn't have their families. They got their families in the bubble. Like he was able to accommodate them every way that he possibly could. They can only do so much, but he was able to at least get as much as he can. And bro, first of all, and this was part of it, at least in the very beginning, a lot of them were complaining, they got to quarantine, all that stuff. I'm like, bro, you quarantined in Disney. You got pools, you got nice weather. We had a quarantine in our crib. Couldn't really go outside. You telling me like, I'm still not eating what they eating. Like they're fine.
And
but
that's why
3 months in, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll get tired of it too.
It was hard to understand the complaints, but I got to try to understand because like I'm not in their position. But from our perspective, it's like, come on, you're getting paid millions of dollars to just come calling this like facilities real quick in Disney. NBA got you covered, food, entertainment, all that stuff, pools, golf courses, all that. And everybody was just complaining about it, like, oh, I'm not trying to go 3 months over there. Like, I'm pretty sure you would vacation somewhere like that for 3 months at a time. Like,
yeah.
So,
well, luckily all teams didn't have to go 3 months. Only the best of the best.
Exactly. Everybody was acting like they was staying there 3 months. You knew, like, some of you was really there for just like a 3-week, 4-week period, and then you weren't going to make it to the playoffs. Like, why you even complaining?
Most of the boys complaining about the food. They didn't make it past bubble play. But let's talk about some bubble play, bro. We kick it off out the gate, and we looking like some hot trash. We got that Clippers dub, and all of a sudden, Rondo gets hurt in the, I think, first practice or second practice. Real Rondo shit.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I'm not gonna lie, Rondo gets hurt, and I'm like, I don't mind if, obviously, as long as it's not a big injury, I don't mind if he's just on the bench, talking. That's what I'll kind of want Rondo on the team for. I really don't want to see him play. I'm not the biggest fan of Rondo in a Lakers jersey at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm all right, I'm cool on that. We play in the bubble. We win the first game. I don't even want to talk about the other games because it was some hot trash. We see Frank Vogel, experimenting with a bunch of new lineups, whether it's Deion Waiters, some PT, trash-ass J.R. Smith. Keith was only there for like half the bubble, so we had to try to get him adjusted. Kyle Kuzma was going off. LeBron James looked like he was trash. What did you think when we're going into the playoffs and we just had like a stank run, and then we're now facing – and, of course, we're the last team to find out who we face because, the 8th and 9th seed is battling. So we're the last team that finds out who we're playing. Not only that, we're going up against the red-hot Blazers, which Damian Lillard doesn't know how to miss a shot.
Right.
Pulling up as soon as he gets to 75 feet deep. What are you thinking as soon as all this is going on? Lakers got a crappy run, and we're facing ultimately the hottest team in the bubble.
Well, first things first, I want to give my regular shout-out to Rob Pelinka because once again, we got into ourselves into a little pickle going in. Avery Bradley wasn't coming in, so we had to fill some spots. And within the bubble, they allowed us to have a couple extra roster spots. So he looked into the areas of people who weren't even listed and playing, like J.R. Smith and who else did we pick up? Markieff Morris?
No. We had Keith and we had Waiters. We signed Waiters in the buyout, but we never saw him play until the bubble. We only picked up JR to replace Avery.
Only picked up JR?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we had everybody playing by the bubble. It was Markieff, Deion. All right.
So we did see Deion for the first time in the bubble because he was still trying to get acclimated back in regular season.
We saw Bubble Cheese making an appearance, and I think all Lakers fans would agree that he was definitely a spark that we needed and we'd love to see. And we was hoping to see him more in playoffs, but we'll get to that. Blazers. Blazers was scary, man. Throughout the whole bubble, they was one of the hottest teams, and they had the hottest player. He was the bubble MVP, right? You know how this NBA stuff works. When somebody gets going hot, the media starts talking. Mm-hmm. And once they get in that race to get to the 8th spot, it's, they better not get to that 8th spot because the Lakers are going to be in trouble, right? Everybody was jacking that. And then the run we was having, I knew that we was doing a lot of experimenting. Frank was doing a lot of experimenting because it's not a lot of time left, right? We got to get ready for the playoffs. Can't really just get too complacent and comfortable. Still got to try some things out. And that's how he works. He likes to use the actual gameplay to see how things are going to work out. That's the best form of practice for him. So we were sacrificing a lot of games, and it was tough to watch in the moment, especially when, the potential ace spots was looking crazy. I think it was Blazers,
Grizzlies, and Suns.
and the Suns. Suns were undefeated in the bubble. I wouldn't mind seeing them, but they were undefeated in the bubble. That was hot. And realistically, the only team we really want to avoid was the Blazers. Of course, they fought. They made it to some unprecedented events, like where they had a play-in.
Yeah, bro, the play-in.
They had a play-in. That's like the first time ever I think they ever had that.
Mm-hmm.
So real unprecedented territory for them. And they made history. I'm not gonna lie. And like people said, they probably was really the best AFC team like of all time. Like in a real situation, if they had that team throughout the whole season,
bro, that same exact team was in the Western Conference Finals the year before.
Exactly.
Like that's crazy. Like Nurk wasn't there all regular season. As soon as he gets back, it's like they're back at 100. Right. And that same exact team, actually you could copy and cut some other people. They got Carmelo. They might have lost I think they lost their wing. I forgot who their wing was last season. It doesn't matter. But literally it's almost the same team, except they were facing the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. I think they got swept or maybe only won one game. It don't matter. They made it that far. You know what I mean?
Right. And going into it, I was still confident in our guys because during the regular season, I think we lost one game to them before. Or
we lost one game to them in the bubble, that's for sure.
But in the bubble when it was hot. But during the regular season, we took care of business, so I wasn't really too worried about the Blazers. We're first seed for a reason, right? But going into a game one, waking up the next day after game one,
that was bad, bro.
Eerie.
Again, I am the person that I jump the gun a lot. So like I'm seeing Frank Vogel in bubble play, and I'm just like, Frank, what is you doing? Looking back at it, I'm like, all right, Frank, you a whole genius for just experimenting and kind of not showing any of your hand at all. Right. I even admire things like the Denver Nuggets game winner with Kyle Kuzma, knowing damn well we never gonna go to Kyle Kuzma for a game win in the playoffs. I admire things like that from Frank Vogel looking back at it now. But now that it's all said and done, bro, that loss to Blazers game one, I was just like, man, I hope this was the punch in the mouth we needed. Mm-hmm. We've been punched in the mouth a few times, and we responded well all those times. Let's see how we do now. And then from there on out, bro,
rolling.
That really set
the tone. It really set the tone for the playoffs. I'm pretty sure that was our real test. That was like our first real test because it was a game. It was what do you call it? Round one, right? Everybody had a break pretty much. The Bucks had Magic. They folded the game, but that foreshadowed their future pretty much. And like Clippers had the Mavericks. I would love to have the Mavericks. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Clippers struggled. Mavericks were some ass too. Mavericks were trash.
And who else was playing? Like the Nets and you know what I'm saying? It was first round.
Celtics versus the Sixers with no Embiid, with no Simmons, and then I think Embiid got hurt too. It was real bad for the first round.
The first round was pretty much a cakewalk for everybody, but a real test for us. And it set the tone because it was that punch in the mouth and never look back. Like it's over from that. Pretty much a sweep. Second round, same thing. Got in the mouth. Game time after that. So it set the tone. Like that was pretty much our game 5 was like our story, the whole playoffs until finals, which you would probably expect because it's going to be elevated competition.
Yeah. So yeah, we beat the Blazers, man. That was a wonderful feeling, winning that first series. But I think me and you had the same energy all playoffs, man. I don't give a damn about any of these series until the finals. Or in my head too, I'm thinking of the Western Conference Finals because I want to smack the Clippers on their ass, man. So here we are, we beat the Blazers. AD just has a monster series. He goes off. LeBron James showed that he's still LeBron James. He's still LeBron James at the end of the day. And that's what I love. And our defense was looking incredible on Dame, on CJ. We did what we can do, Holding a superstar player in the playoffs to 25 points, that's a W. You know what I mean? This is the playoffs. They're supposed to go off for 30, 35, especially when you got Red Hot Dame who averaged 50 points or something crazy in the bubble. He averaged 44, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we go into the Rocket series, and now we're facing – I'm not going to say the team to beat, but this is the team that just has a question mark next to their name because it's like they're playing what they call micro ball, bro. Like we have never seen anything like this. And Lakers' weakness for most of the regular season was, for whatever reason, their ability to defend the small lineups. Even though we got Anthony Davis, it never made sense to me in the regular season. And it didn't make sense to me the first game either when we got smacked and P.J. Tucker went crazy, Robert Covington went crazy, Daniel House, the GOAT apparently, much needed star. But thankfully, Daniel House got injured and we did a gentleman's sweep. I don't know what we would do without Daniel House.
Daniel House. Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, bro. If he was out there, we could have been having a different conversation right now. Not going to hold you.
Yeah, all right. We would have won all the rest because we literally smacked them every rest of the way out by like 20 points.
It was bad. It was embarrassing because at the end of the day, I feel like we always felt if we went outside of our comfort zone as a big team, we would struggle. I think the adjustments we made with adding Markieff, who's like a big but an agile big kind of, and shoot and defend for the most part. And when I say defend, I mean he can at least give a decent hard foul. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So
he could put a hand up.
He could put a hand up, right? So then you slide AD to the 5. Not to mention AD is getting a lot more fluent out there offensively around the perimeter, right? He's getting a lot more.
He got ate up by P.J. Tucker that first game. Luckily, he got punched in the mouth and got back up.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? But that's the type of competition you expect. You expect to get punched because it's the Western Conference and these guys don't play around. We're playing against a team that has 2 MVPs.
Nobody talks about it, bro. Nobody talks about it. They ain't listening.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and they have a crazy formula of winning with the small ball, right? That's supposed to be this new innovative way. This is supposed to be the future of basketball. And I feel like we proved that you could win anyway as long as you coach the right way, right? And we played their game and beat them at it.
Bro, that was the amazing part of that to me. Houston Rockets played, I'm not going to say the whole season with the micro ball, but basically from the All-Star break, I mean, a little bit before that too, because they did the Clint Capella trade. So let's say from January to whatever point they were at with this micro ball, bro. This whole like new innovative thing. It took Frank Vogel one game to not only know how to defend that, but play that way even better.
Right. And
that is incredible, man.
Not to mention, we're not even playing small ball because Anthony Davis is not small. LeBron James is not small. We're still playing monster ball, but we're just playing it in an agile way, in a sufficient way. We're not playing with anchors like JaVale who could slow us down. Like, JaVale is a great piece to have, and he was very key in a lot of moments. But in that series, I think it was important for Frank to recognize that, all right, these guys are going to have to sacrifice and take this one out because we need to move a certain way defensively and especially offensively in terms of spacing. And JaVale's not going to space the floor, let's face it, right? So it's pretty much just a wasted jersey out there. We could add Markieff who can slide to the perimeter, and he was big on hitting shots. I think he had like a big, what was it, game 2?
Bro, when he was a sniper. He was a sniper for that one game. Hit like 5 threes. Yeah.
So just spacing the floor. We have great shooting occasionally, but we have enough guys who can shoot decent enough that somebody's going to get hot. It might be Kuzma, might be KCP. On a real rare occasion, Danny Green will give you 2 3-pointers, 2 or 3.
Let me know when that happened, bro. Just let me know.
Yeah, on a real rare occasion. But Rondo, I don't think he came in yet, right?
No, he came back, and that was a big oh, man. He was there for actually game 1. I remember this vividly. He was there for game 1.
And he was holding down.
I texted my group chat because he had an awful game 1. You remember that?
Yeah.
He had an awful game 1. I texted my group chat, Rondo might be the reason we lose out on the championship.
Dude, what was his stats game 1, though?
It was awful. I'll pull it up for you. I'll pull it up. It was, bro, I remember I was so upset because Frank Vogel went from saying he was going to introduce him to the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Like
and then
20
he
minutes.
came back to the swag. I remember.
Let me get this pulled up right now, bro. And it's Rondo, so like either way, the stats never jump out to the page. But we
Nah,
lost.
I remember being pissed off because Frank had his post game, whatever, and he was talking about the swag that Rondo was presenting, vouching for that once more. So I was getting real heated, bro. Not after a loss, not talking about Rondo's swag again.
Not again. So his first game, somehow, some way, he had 8 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. But this is what got me tight is Caruso only had 16 minutes that game. I remember vividly being tight about that. The first game he played JaVale McGee 13 minutes, Dwight Howard 11. So ultimately half of the game he had a center in.
Yeah. So that was the problem right there.
Like I said, Frank Vogel saw what he did wrong. I mean, honestly, what I think Frank Vogel did the whole playoffs and the whole season is he said, I know what I got to do to win. Let me just play how I kind of want to play until I need to play how I need to play.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like Frank Vogel was like that the whole time. We still, and I'm going to say it probably every episode, I still never saw an AD and LeBron pick and roll.
I think you guys it, bro. I've seen it 1 or 2 times. It happened.
But we got LeBron James and AD. We don't see it, but whatever.
They sprinkle it, bro. And very – because, bro, you got to think about it. As a team, you're probably going to expect that.
I hear that. I hear that.
If you're going to play the Lakers, your game plan defensively is going to be like, all right, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, pick and roll. You're going to prepare for that.
But we don't even try it. Like, AD just does a stupid-ass slip screen, but whatever the case may be. So I think Frank Vogel was very – he knew what to do. It was just a matter of when he wanted to show the card. And once he showed the card, for the most part, bro, nobody had answers. I feel like the only person that had answers was really Eric Spoelstra.
Eric Spoelstra, bro. The only guy. And credit to Mike Malone because he was here.
He tried. He tried real hard. But
he was here because definitely, he made the adjustments. And the games, I feel like there was very interesting. A lot of them came down to a certain point. But, we got them in 5 as per usual. But the Heat definitely gave us a more competitive stance because, it's the final stage. And they have a better leader in Jimmy Butler. They have a better coach and a seasoned coach in Eric Spoelstra. He's been through this before. He's been to finals before, so he knows all about this. He knows LeBron, too. So I feel like that was definitely the best matchup for us in terms of East, besides probably the Bucks. I think we probably would have handled the Bucks the same way.
Yeah, bro. So real quick, before we go to the Heat and go to talk about the finals, I'm trying to – so I got in my notes, I got the Blazers, the Rockets. Where's the Clippers? I'm trying to – when did – I don't got it written down. Did I forget something? What happened to the Clippers?
The Clippers, well, they got past – they barely got past.
Yeah, they grazed past the Mavs. I forgot.
Yeah, that was
the Nuggets. No, but they had the Nuggets 3-1, so they handled that. And then we did we get to face them in the Western Conference? Why I don't know why I don't got it written down or anything.
We played the Nuggets?
Yeah.
Wait, we played the Nuggets, bro.
Yeah. So hold on, let me see what happened because I know the Clippers were up 3-1.
There was definitely up 3-1.
Let me look up game.
And we was waiting because we had
Clippers game 6. Hold on, Nuggets.
And then we ended up seeing the Nuggets. So what happened?
Yeah. I don't know. I must have forgot. Give me a second. I'm pulling it up right now. Oh no. So hold on. They were up heavy in game 6. They were up 25 points game 6. So they must have finished them out then.
Nah, bro.
Oh no. The Nuggets won that. The Nuggets won that. Give it out. What the fuck? All right. Let's see. Go down this one more time. All right. Now they were up 25, but now the Nuggets ended up. Nuggets won. It looked like. They were up. Nuggets won that game by 6 points. All right. Next game though, they were up again. Nuggets won that game by 13. Hold up. Oh, they got blown out the last game. That's right. 3-1 lead. Yeah, they blew that shit, bro.
No way.
Yeah. I got it right here. It's basketball reference. I think they're a trusted source.
There's no way this is real, though. You see this, bro?
Wait.
Wait, hold on, bro. You seen this right here?
Oh, is this the – he made that shit.
That's real?
That's way off P, bro. You know him.
That's Photoshop. That's cap.
That's way off P.
Wow.
Bro, what was the reaction when the Clippers blew the 3-1 lead?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. That was probably the most legendary night on NBA Twitter of all time. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I was having a ball. It was a celebration. Clippers pack was in the air. The speakers was booming. All my fans was on Lakers Twitter going crazy. The jokes, the memes. Nah, bro, I couldn't get in. I already know the Lakers group chat was booming.
Dudley said they were
Oh,
weak, bro. Dudley said they were dead weak.
they was dead. And it's like, bro, it's not even the fact that they lost. It was the fashion. Like, they really, bro, they was up 3-1. Everybody was, like, all right, convinced. They going to was going to have Lakers Clippers like it was supposed to happen. And they
We held up our end, man. I don't know what they want. We held up our end.
We're not trash. We're not going to fold the 3-1. First of all, we're not even going to – I'm not going to get into that point. But first of all, they forced a Game 7, right? If they're the dogs, if they're the team that everybody claims they're supposed to be, they handle that. They handle that. You have Kawhi Leonard, playoff P, way off P, a dog in Beverly, a dog in Harold, unstoppable force in Lou, right? And Doc Rivers as a coach.
Marcus Morris, dog. Traded more assets for him, dog.
Doghouse, bro. And he got embarrassed. They got handled by Jokic. They got handled badly. Hold on.
They got smacked Game 7. That was the funny part. They got smacked Game 7. I was watching that at my job, man. I was holding on to every minute. Joker, bro.
Handled them badly.
Badly, bro.
They got that man in their nightmares and they sleep. Jokic. And it's like at the end of the day, you can't even really point out who to blame except for just the whole organization from jump. The whole organization from jump, y'all set yourselves up for this moment. Y'all did this to yourselves. The moment y'all wanted to pick up Kawhi Leonard and market y'all whole franchise on, we're not the Lakers. This is LA's team now. This is our town. This is the new era. Y'all did this to yourselves. Y'all haven't made it to the conference finals ever.
They were talking hot, man. They were talking hot.
I don't want to hear nothing from them, bro. Ever. Like, and now look where they are now. They're dismantled. Who knows what the future's like? They already got rid of Doc. Doc said, "I'm out. I'm in Philly with it." Ball down the street. I seen him the other day.
Oh man.
Scooping the cheesesteak, all that.
Bro, that was a legendary night. I've never been so proud in my life to not be a Clippers fan than that day right there.
I would like to say every day I wake up, I'm always proud to not be a Clippers fan. But that day especially, icing on the cake. But it was disappointing though because I wanted to see them because I already knew we was gonna handle them. Like they was not equipped and it was clear, bro. They struggled with every team.
Parts of me wishes we still got them just so we could have handled them. But you know what? Like I said, we did our job.
Yeah.
All we could do is play who's in front of us. They weren't in front of us.
Faulting us for that, bro. Like it was our fault.
And what's crazy is if I still go down any of the roads, besides the Heat probably had the toughest road. I'm not going to lie. Because they had to face, I don't even know who they faced the first round. Who they faced the first round, though? Did they have the Nets?
Was it the Nets, I think?
They might have had the Nets. But like, I still think we might have had the toughest road.
Pacers. And
yeah, but they swept.
Pacers was hot. TJ Warren was type up there for bubble MVP.
Yeah, sure. But they weren't no Blazers. Like, the Heat and Lakers had the toughest roads, man. It's not our fault that we made them look bad.
Right.
We made the Blazers look bad. We made the Blazers turn back into, they're the Blazers. They're the 8th seed. You want to get credit for beating the 8th seed. Then we beat the Rockets. Make them, you said it, 2 MVPs. 2 MVP. We made them look bad, man. Real bad.
And they're discrediting them bad. At the end of the day, if the Clippers saw the Blazers or the Rockets or a healthy Mavericks, they probably wouldn't even make it past the first round. And then they couldn't see Denver, bro. Denver was way more competent than them.
And we were up 3-1 against Denver, bro. Like, We were up
All I'm
31
saying
points.
is, all I'm
We
saying
did
is,
it.
it's not our fault that the teams that everybody else thought was going to do good didn't do good. Why is that our fault? The good team showed up.
Exactly, bro.
So if they didn't perform, then they're not as good as you thought. You know what I'm saying? So just because we didn't see the Clippers is probably a good thing. They're not the most comp.
And that's what it comes down to, man. And that's what it comes down to. So you know what? If the Clippers feel that we got an asterisk on the championship because we didn't see them, lace up your boots, show up next year, hang the banner up in Staples Center on your side. You know, because they cover all of our banners every game. Hang the banner up and say, you know, we're the Christmas Day champions, because that's what they are. They're the Christmas Day champions. Congratulations. You guys did very well on Christmas Day. You ruined my fucking holiday, so fuck you. But but honestly, next postseason, do your job. Maybe hold on to some of your assets and build them up, because you ain't gonna lose them all. I don't know what's gonna happen if they're gonna sign Marcus Morris back, Montrezl Harrell. They gotta focus on themselves real quick. Do better. Take your time. And come see us. Patrick Beverly.
I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I think that was their best chance, because think about it, right?
We're gonna get better.
We're gonna get better.
They can't get. I don't think they can get better.
They're not getting better. They had one of their assistant coaches slide down to the next seat. He's gonna take over until they lose again in the first round.
But now they acting like Ty Lue was the second coming to Jesus.
Bro, they did the same thing for everybody else who pulled up. They thought Doc was gonna take him all the way to the chip, but his history tells you that he falls like every game 7 he's been in. So, I mean, take it for what you want. But.
Man, so they took Reggie Jackson from us. We wanted Reggie Jackson. They took Marcus Morris from us. We wanted Marcus Morris.
Part of a Kawhi too, not to mention.
Joakim Noah, we worked out first back in LA. We wanted Kawhi. We wanted PG. So you know what? It's kind of like the what if Lakers team, high key. That's really what it is.
It is the what if Lakers, and the Clippers is really just a what if Lakers team. Always been.
So, what if Clippers won the game 7 and played us? They would have got smoked. That's the only what if I could imagine right now, bro.
Exactly.
All right, so I think the Clippers are going to reach about 10 minutes. I think we're good for now. Take a little intermission. We'll come back right with now. So, yeah, we're in the Western Conference Finals. We kind of took care of the Nuggets. They were competitive every game, which I could definitely be I'm trying to give props to them and whatnot. You know, thank you for not making the games boring, because I'm not going to lie. Some of these playoffs games for us, after game 1, I was like, man, I'm just cheesing. I'm just watching to watch at this point. Like, I got no investment almost in it. I did have investment in game 2 of the Western Conference Finals when Anthony Davis hit that mother game winner. Man.
Kobe.
He's like big. That, bro.
He's like
He's
that. That was
like
big.
That.
In the Mamba jerseys, responding to, you know what I'm saying, a crucial game, because, you know what I'm saying, going into game 1, expected to get that up. But going into game 2, it's a little more competitive than we anticipated. It was, you know what I'm saying, again, it's a little nervous. We cannot go down 0-2. And we already know these guys are not no joke. They just handled the Clippers badly. So we cannot go down 0-2.
You know what they were? You know what the Nuggets were? And we talked about the Clippers. Nuggets were dogs.
Mm-hmm. Real dogs.
The Clippers, really, they were like puppies and whatnot. Nuggets were dogs. And no matter what, you could punch them in the mouth, you know what I mean, go crazy on them, and they'll just brush that right off. Jamal Murray, he's a dog. Jokic, he's a dog. Dwight Howard, though, he had his number. Jamal Murray, he was kind of spazzing, but Caruso, Rondo, they like that. They took care of what they had to take care of.
Yeah. And Anthony Davis with that big-time shot, it definitely made me feel just comfortable with the future of this team, knowing that he stepped up in that moment. Because think about it, right? Apparently that play was drawn up for LeBron. And if you go back, you can go back and see it. But Rondo said it, too, in his post-game interview. He said, it's drawn up for LeBron. I looked at LeBron. He looked at me. Didn't move.
Bron wanted no parts, bro. Bron wanted no parts.
And, you know what I'm saying, AD, he wanted that, bro. He's flash. He saw an opening. Rondo made a great pass. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't get enough credit for that. It was a great pass. They had Bol in there, like 7'4".
Did they have Bol in at that time?
They had Bol in there.
Really? I didn't even know that.
He had to throw over him. Anthony caught it, didn't hesitate. Just like when we took that loss in Brooklyn, he missed the shot, but he didn't hesitate. And when he took that shot, I was confident in his ability to take those big shots, and I was glad he had that opportunity, and he knocked it down for the win, big time.
And with that being said, then we'll go off into the Heat series. I want to give a big shout out, obviously Anthony Davis, but I want to give a big shout out to Miles Plumlee for not knowing what the fuck to do in that play, because he left AD wide open.
I mean, you can give credit to Bron too, because in that sense, he's kind of like a decoy.
He was a decoy. That's exactly what he was.
It was going to Bron. I mean, I think Bron thought it was going to Bron. I don't know what happened. It worked out. I don't know if he froze. I don't know if he was just like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was intentional.
I think his controller died. I'm not going to lie. But
his controller died?
His controller died.
But that's scary. But, you know, at least we have AD, because I can't depend on LeBron to close. I hate to say it.
I still can't.
Player. He's almost a perfect player. But it really comes down to certain things like that. Like closing a game, that might be one of his biggest flaws. And he can do it. I've seen him do it certain times, but there's something about a specific moment when we're down and we need points, he goes to people. You know what I'm saying? He refers. And
I think
it works.
For obvious reasons, I think we're going to get into a bigger conversation when we're talking about Game 5 of the Miami Heat game. But LeBron, call a spade a spade. It is what it is. He is a killer in a different way. Me and you would joke around and say, yo, Bron is about to come in crazy this game. He's going to have 18 points and 17 assists. But, like,
30.
We're used to, like, I don't know who your favorite player is right now. My favorite player is Dame. My all-time favorite player is the man behind me. When I say a killer, when I say he's a killer, when he's like that, that means they need a dub. This guy's going to drop 40 on your head, and he's going to get that dub.
Right.
LeBron James knows we need a dub, and he's going to get you 15 assists, 12 boards, and 25 points. God damn it.
I mean, that's a great line, but it's like you can't really – it's hard to complain. We sound greedy as hell. But I'm not
yeah, we do. We do, right?
We sound crazy, but you have to just understand where we're coming from like our history of watching the game and what we're just used to seeing in terms of taking over. And that one player who just takes things over. And, you know, LeBron is that guy, but he's just more of a magic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like a magic. He definitely looks for his team. He's trying to make his teammates better. And it's just frustrating as a fan to see him get such easy buckets throughout the game, right? And then when it comes down to it, that's what hurts. But it's like you can't really complain if you end up with jewelry. Feel me? If we find a way around it, then it's hard to complain.
And I think this leads it perfectly to the Heat series, because I want to say for the first time in a Lakers jersey, we seen Bron get a bucket whenever we needed a bucket. And that was the part that, like, it felt so good, because he could do that, man. He can really just, you know, do a little shoulder, do a stupid spin move that somehow always works, and get a bucket. Head down, basket, or foul in this case. And you know what? Shout out to Bron. His free throws were much better in the playoffs. I didn't see any of that 50, 60% shooting. He was back in the 70s, but you know what? If that's your flaw, even though that's super freaking frustrating, I'll take it. If that's your one kryptonite, I'll take that. Right. And Mario Harzonia, but that's beyond me. But yeah, like, you know, the Heat first game, I thought it was easy, man. I thought as soon as I saw the first game, I was like, all right, we won. I was legit celebrating already.
Right.
And did Heat take game 2? Or did we take game 2?
They did.
I mean, they won 2 games, so they had to take game 2. They definitely took game 2.
I think they took game 3 and 5.
All right, you know what? Let me get my numbers right. Let me just do it to do it. Give me a second.
I think they took game 3 and 5 because I remember they was down 2-0. They didn't have Bam. Jimmy says, if we win this game, we might be on to something. Then they go up 2-1.
Yeah, what got me tight about Jimmy the whole time is that man.
His demeanor.
He was way too happy. They lost like 2 games in a row, and he was like,
the villain, bro.
He was like, Jimmy, how do you feel right now? I feel confident. Like,
Bro,
the hell? But
let me
that's a
tell you
killer.
something.
That's a killer.
Oh, let me tell you something, bro. That man Jimmy is sick. You hear me? That man Jimmy is sick. This man got scraped in game 6, and what he do? My man was on the weights, bro. He was on the bench.
You
He was
saw
going
that, right?
crazy. Yeah, he was going crazy, bro. This man is sick.
So Lakers won first game, 116-98. Realistically, it was over by halftime. So at that point, I was like, all right, man, chip me. We got it. It's over. Second game happens. We win by 10. I feel like we basically had control of that game. We might have lost control here and there, but we had that. Then the third game we lose. We take a shot on the chin. I think that's when Jimmy absolutely spazzes. And I'm like, okay. What happened? What you said?
I said, he had like 40?
Yeah, that was his big game. That game and then game 5.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, game 4, we're back on the winning board. But Eric Spoelstra, it seemed like I know you remember when they threw like a different they threw a weird zone at us. Like they weren't playing like a regular 2-3 zone. They were playing some, I think, a 1-3-1 or something crazy on us. And it was working. It was to the point where JaVale McGee was unplayable, and we knew that from the get. And Dwight Howard was slowly becoming unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank Vogel, it was really a coaching battle. Eric Spoelstra, he found that to work, knew what to do, and he was basically just waiting for his shooters to get hot. And eventually, Duncan Robinson caught some.
And that's the thing about the Heat. They have scary players like Duncan and Tyler who could just heat up. And it's like once they heat up, it's like, how do you guard that? The way they shoot is they just shoot directly over you. They don't play no games. They don't try to do that dribble, try to clear up space. They're just going to shoot over you. They don't care. If they get the ball, they could be 5 feet behind the three-point line. They're chucking it. And Duncan Robinson is like the ultimate representation of a chuck. Like, it's terrifying, bro. If you have money on this brother, and you have like an under on threes, if you have an under on points, it's terrifying to watch, bro.
You never know.
You know that. Terrifying to watch, bro. If he gets the ball, if he has an inch of space, he's throwing it up. And for a shooter like that, it's terrifying if you're on the other team. So I don't know.
Yeah, man. Duncan Robinson, I don't think he cost me money this finals. Somebody else cost me money, and I'll get to him come game 5. Because that boy that man cost me some bread. It cost me about $800. He owed me. But so yeah, I want to credit Frank Vogel and Eric Spoelstra because Eric Spoelstra did great. I do want to shout out Eric Spoelstra for stop playing Kelly Olynyk. The man had equality on the back of his jersey, but did not get equal playing time. Because if so, he might have did some problems. That
might have been one of the coaching slips that just, really folded his opportunity to get a game 7. Because he did good up to that point, but Kelly Olynyk was a bright spot when Bam went down.
Yeah, bro, he was.
And Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick's like that.
Like what, 17 minutes or something crazy?
Yeah. And that's what it is, man. He are similar to us. They play next man up.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as this guy can't play today, Bulls out of their warm-ups and they're ready to go. And that's really what it was for the Miami Heat. Now, game 5, this was, again, I was kind of scared the whole time. Like, we were up 3-1, and I was like, I'm cool. Like, we got it. We're fine. But the Heat scared me because it was like they figured out how to play defense on us. And then Anthony Davis was having a decline in series. He went from looking like the finals MVP to, like, at least offensively, it was like, AD, just, you know what to do. Why ain't you doing it? But, they playing great defense on him, so I get it. But game 5, this was the best finals game I have watched since probably game 7 of the Cavaliers and Warriors series.
That was an intense game. Mamba jerseys once again. We're feeling unstoppable.
We felt like we won before we won.
Exactly, right? But that's not to say we didn't play like we had it in the bag, because we was playing like we was hungry. It was a real competitive game. Jimmy was coming with everything he had. LeBron, Jesus. He was shooting lights out. How many times you really see that from LeBron shooting like that? And then, AD was trying to play as hard as he could, but then something was off. It seemed like he got hurt a couple of times. You had the usual Lakers scare of him going down, but it was a lot more scary this time. It was terrifying to watch. You know what I'm saying? He had the crispy gold Mambas on. Unfortunately, we landed in a way that, and he started grabbing his leg that made it seem like it could have been Achilles, right?
I had bad flashbacks, bro. Flashbacks.
Hard dropped, right? So In the moment, all you can do is just hope for the best. But he came back within a few minutes after Anthony gave a shit, and like,
Bro, we come back. Goes on commercial. It goes on commercial. I am the panicker. I do this for a living. I freak out. This is what I do. Like, don't let me get in my zen. Bro, AD grabs the ankle. I see the he doesn't really grab the ankle. He grabs like almost the Achilles. I see the replay and I'm like, bro, there's no contact. There's no nothing. And that's the scariest injuries, non-contact injuries. They will tell you that. It goes to commercial. So now we got 2 minutes just to reflect on, goddamn, this could be it all right here. And I don't know if I trust Bron to really be that person for the rest of the way out. Comes back from commercial. I see Bull running on the sidelines.
OD sprinting, bro.
Like nothing ever happened. And I'm just like, you mother.
It's so regular for him, but bro, at that point in time, it just seems so. I don't even know about Anthony. I don't know about Anthony, but I will say that I feel like that did affect the way he played the rest of his game. He's gonna be a little more sluggish.
Yeah. He was timid.
He wasn't really sprinting. He was kind of jogging.
I think he probably got poked in the eye that game too. He needs to wear goggles. I'm not gonna lie.
Just do the goggles, man. Just face it. Like, you get poked all the time. You really just accident prone. Like, I don't understand it. He's always falling down. Like, come on, son. But I mean, I just got to give all credit to the Heat that game, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like we didn't give it all. Let's get down to that last play. Let's just get that out the way, right?
Come on.
Once again, I mean, what can I say?
I want you to go second by second. I remember we both did the vet voice memo. What was your exact thoughts? You see LeBron James have this ball.
LeBron has to go and get it, right? The whole game he was going to the basket. I wouldn't be mad if he got to the basket and somehow created some shot to get fouled or whatever. In the moment of the way they was playing him, it was looking like a shot was needed to be taken, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we would like to see him create a shot, because any other team who has that guy for them, they're going to just take that shot. LeBron, of course, does a good job of penetrating and creating a whole bunch of guys, because they're going to be focused on LeBron James, and kicks it out to Danny Green, right? Wide open. A few months before that, we had a similar situation. We was playing the Mavericks, and LeBron had a wide open. It was a similar situation, but it's a little different. LeBron James drives to the basket. For some reason, people are paying attention to LeBron, and
we needed a 3 that game for whatever reason.
We needed a 3, but LeBron just attracts so much attention that, you know what I'm saying? As soon as you drive to the basket, somebody's open. Danny Green's open, knocks it down, right? So when he throws it back, I'm thinking about that, right? Because throughout all the trials and tribulations with Danny Green, I'm always thinking about that Mavericks game. He's going to be here for that one game that we need him, right? He passes it back out. Within those 2 seconds, I'm thinking, how ironic is this? How many more is winning us a game-winning chip? Like, this is crazy, right? I'm confident that even though he's been shooting terrible the whole game, or just the whole playoffs, right?
The whole season.
At one moment, I was 100% sure breach. It was breach. Goes up in the air, and he's lucky it didn't air ball. Barely. And, like, if you miss, at least make it a respectable miss, because Bron was in the paint. AD was in the paint. It probably would have been some sort of cleanup there. We had 6 more seconds left on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still got the offensive rebound by the grace of God somehow. And Keith, he tried to hit AD with the pass. He folded. I mean, he folded the pass, let's face it. But I feel like I give more of that blame to Danny Green. And just for the simple fact that that's what you're here for. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Keith wasn't planning on having the ball in that moment. And I feel like 9 times out of 10, anybody else in that situation is probably going to be like, oh, shit, hot potato. Because it's scary. You're not the guy to be shooting that shot. Mm-hmm. He's trying to find somebody to – where's Bron? Where's AD? And that's exactly who he looks for. And I don't really fault him too much to be in that predicament. But, I mean, hey, I'd rather much LeBron just creating a shot for himself than depending on Danny Green and Markieff Morris.
So I had a similar. My mind was working in almost the same way. You went back to the Mavericks moment, and it's crazy how. So I'm gonna pull an odd story out real quick. I got into a car accident within the first 6 months. I got my license, right? And this was my only car accident I've ever got into. And as it was crashing, it feels like it's in slow motion. And it feel I don't know if you've ever been into an accident, but bro, for whatever reason, I just remember me cursing a lot, and I just remember all my thoughts are running,
There's
and
so many thoughts going through your head.
it felt like it was like I was crashing for 2 minutes, but realistically, it was like 5 seconds, right? So the similar thing is happening right now. So LeBron drives. I know what's gonna happen because you're not letting LeBron James take a layup. That's the last thing you're doing. You rather the shooter take the shot. So I see LeBron drive, and then I see four men build a wall. Four men build a wall. I see it get kicked out to DG. As soon as I see the pass off, I know what the pass going to do. It's going to be on the money. And in my head, I'm thinking, I've slandered Daniel Green for just about all the games except of that one Clippers game. I slandered and the Mavericks game. So I slandered him all games but like two. And I'm gonna have to walk all that back. And
All of it.
I was like, how fitting is this? They told me all year that we got Danny Green not for the regular season, for the playoffs. He was gonna be the guy to hit that big shot. And I'm thinking, I'm like, bro, I gotta delete all my tweets. I gotta do all this. I gotta buy his jersey.
Buy his jersey for facts.
And then he puts the shot up, and I'm like, and it felt like the Rondo shot against the Celtics last season, where that was like a beautiful game winner. I was about to lose my mind. I was like, we're about to win the championship off a Danny Green three. I cannot believe my eyes. That was way off D. That was
way off.
That was bad, bro. So, anyways, it front of the rim, a brick and a half, bro. As Gucci Mane said, bro, half a brick, whole brick. Like, it was bad. It was bad. It's the front of the rim. Markieff Morris grabs it. I'm like, all right. I don't expect Keith to take the shot. What I do expect is him to pass. And I see DG right behind him, wide open. I'm like, oh, man. Daniel Green.
I'm sure you're thinking the same thing.
I'm like, Daniel Green, bro. He's about to make up for that ass shot, and he about to cash this one in. And then all of a sudden, I see the ball go out of bounds, and I start losing my shit, bro. I was so upset. You got to understand, before this play, man, I took out all my Lakers gear out the drawer. I was ready to celebrate. I laid all that shit in front of me. I was like, let's go. Come on. In the grace of God, we got this. And then in the grace of Danny Green, bro, we folded every single shot and opportunity we had. I cannot believe you, Danny Green. Markieff Morris, I fucks with you, so you good.
I fucks with Keith. The worst part about it is, I feel like if you ask Bron, given that situation, would you do it again? He would.
He would. He said it. He said he'll do it better pass.
Put too much stock into Danny Green, and like when you have LeBron James and he's scoring unstoppably throughout the whole period of the game, and not to mention he was hot shooting too. So it's like, I don't understand. They're gonna be smothering you on defense. It's so easy to draw a foul in that moment. But I mean,
Game 6 ain't much to talk about, so I want.
It's not much to talk about. That's pretty much celebration.
I want to spend another minute on this. What would have been, and I'm not Frank Vogel, but what possibly he could have drew up, besides that, with Danny Green just folded, and AD and Bron pick and roll might have won us the game, man.
As simple as that, for real.
It might have, but at the end of the day, can't cry over spilled milk. We came back Game 6. I was a little shook just because, I'm the parent.
I wasn't. I already knew. We don't lose twice in a row. And
Jimmy Butler was on he was on demon time for whatever reason. He was like, yeah, this is exactly where we want to be. And I was like, you were just down 3-1. This is what you dreamed of? Like, but luckily Eric Spoelstra wanted to play Goran Dragic some sympathy minutes. So thank you very much. And we won, man. We did it. We hoist that championship in the air. And what's that first thought you think, man? What's the first thing that runs through your mind?
First thing that runs in my mind is just the first game of Anthony Davis and LeBron James when we played Golden State, because I envisioned it since that first game. like we can really win a championship this year. Like there's not a lot of teams that when you get a newly formed team together, that the first go around is successful like this. You know what I'm saying? So all you can really do is dream in that moment. I was just thinking about it, like, wow, like we really actually got it done throughout everything, throughout the COVID, throughout the bubble, throughout every competition that we had. We really overcame all the adversity, and whether people like it or not, I feel like we had all the obstacles, the hardest route, definitely.
Man, if it wasn't for, I mean, granted, we all were in the same position as far as COVID and things going around. That's why I think this whole Astra shit is bullcrap. They gave everybody a fair shake at it. The only people that didn't get a shot in the bubble, they weren't qualified. You didn't have the credentials. You didn't deserve to be there. That's facts.
Right.
But besides that, everybody was in the same situation. You cannot say that this was a fluke or
Nothing was in favor for us specifically.
Yeah,
They're trying to make it seem like it was easy for us.
Exactly. They're trying to make it seem like the seesaw was more on us. Bro, everybody had to go through the same tribulations. Was it hard? It was harder, yes. It was harder for Lakers. It was harder for the Heat. It was harder for the Bucks. It was harder for the Clippers. They should have been more dogs. Nuggets. It was harder for all of them. And
we had a starter who didn't even pull up. People don't even think about that.
And if I'm right, besides the Blazers not having Trevor Ariza, I can't think of many people that didn't have, besides injuries. Injuries happen. It's part of the game.
Injuries happen.
We don't talk about when Magic Johnson was out when the Bulls won their first ring. We don't talk about when we talk about Bron beating Cleveland. We don't talk about all the injuries, or when we talk about the Warriors beating Bron. We don't talk about all the injuries. When we talk about Bron beating Cleveland, we don't talk about the fact Draymond Green was suspended Game 6. Like, it's part of the game. This happens. What we can talk about is people not being there because of the situation.
Of the actual situation, like
like the actual thing that is supposed to hold us back. We actually had something that was holding us back. We did not have our best on-ball defender.
Right.
We had Rondo step the fuck up. We had Caruso. He always stepped up, but we had him step up. We had Danny Green out there giving us 28 minutes of nothing. we worked.
We had the struggles, man.
We had KCP, bro, a consistent bucket, man. He went from an ankle monitor around his leg to a ring around his ring finger, man. Come on. We did this. Not to mention we had to deal with the death of the best Laker of all time, the most historic Laker of all time. You can miss me with everything else. The greatest Laker of all time. We had to deal with that in live time. We didn't have a summer. I mean, I guess we had a summer to deal with it, but we had to deal with that and play the next week.
Right.
I'm not hearing none of the Astros. We want a chance, and that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, you cannot tell me nothing. The Lakers got number 17. Boston Celtics, you could say that you had 17, but look at this. This wasn't around when you won all of those rings. You got one ring in the last 30 years. We have what? We have at least, I'm trying to think, 30 years ago, what is it, 1990. So we got 6 then, because Magic was done by then. We got 6 rings in the last 30. That don't even sound good enough, actually. But whatever, it is what it is.
I mean, if you want to go back to the 80s is when basketball, 70s, I would say like 75 to.
If you want to crank it to 40 years, I'm almost positive we have 11 to Boston 6, if I'm right.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So we smoking you out the water. You was over here watching people play. Go back and watch the games.
And we still running it up too.
if you think your rings, you know what? I'm not even gonna say your rings don't count. But if you think your rings mean more than ours because we played in like Minnesota or whatever the case may be, go back and rewatch your first championship wins and tell me how that goes because you can't even find footage of that shit. I'm not hearing that. You can't find footage of it.
You gotta find the stats.
You can't see it in ESPN Classic. You can't pull it up on ESPN Plus. You can't illegally watch that on YouTube or any type of NBA website. You can't pull it up, bro. I don't even know who Bill Russell. Who guarded you, man? Crazy. Bob Cousy? What team Bob Cousy played for, bro? Bob Cousy was a scrub. I ain't hearing that. Bob Cousy.
Yeah, bro. The most beautiful part about it, too, is that they got the win. And I don't know how national official it is, but I looked them on the Google and it said it was Father-Daughter Day, and I thought that was like a beautiful, end to the story right there for our season. And, it's worked out, and it's just a beautiful feeling. Like, it's still like a bittersweet feeling knowing that Kobe's not here to, celebrate this with us, but
Yeah, man.
I mean, at least we did it for him, you know.
Yeah, and I said it. I said it last time. Like, it doesn't make it any better, you know, the fact that we did it for him, because in theory he should have been here.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
it killed me the other day. I was listening. I don't know if you at least like saw the portion of it, but Rob Pelinka he was on the Woj podcast. Which Woj, I really don't mess with you either, because you were a Laker hater, you were a Clipper dick sucker, but whatever the case may be. I probably shouldn't say that on the channel, but whatever. Pelinka was on Woj's podcast, and he basically said that Gigi went up to him either midway through the season or before the season and was like, "You guys are gonna win. You're too versatile. You got too many bigs that can guard the bigs. You got too many smalls that we're too versatile. We could play too many ways." And that she saw the future before I did, because that is how we won it, man. We were able to play with the bigs when Blazers went and put a Whiteside and Nurk in at the same time, which that seemed crazy. We were able to combat that. We were able to play the smallest of smallest with the Rockets' micro ball when they had PJ Tucker as the starting center and Austin Rivers guarding Anthony Davis. Like, we were able to play that way. And then we were able to play the kind of the mix match way of the Miami Heat, who their center is a big, but he's not really a big. He's 6'9", but he plays like he's, he's like that. So it's just absolutely fascinating, the coaching job they did. It's a fascinating job that all of our players did besides Danny Green. They all did a spectacular job. And shout out to the Miami Heat. Obviously, RIP to the greatest player of all time, Kobe Bryant, with his lovely daughter who was going to freaking be a star in the WNBA. And I would have been I still want to get into the WNBA myself. I want to try to watch some games. But if you would have told me Gigi Bryant was in the WNBA, bro, that's it. League pass. If they got
I'm getting a jersey, all that, yeah.
All that, bro. And
Right.
I'm so sad we ain't gonna get to see that, but
yeah,
at least something. At least we got a championship, and we could dedicate that and really honor his legacy that way. Because Kobe Bryant is a goddamn winner, and what better to kind of celebrate his life than win a championship in his name and in his honor, with a patch on our jerseys that represented him, with the KB patch on the floor on the Lakers hardwood as well. It was just when we won that chip, man, and when we held it in the air, I just reflected all that, and the fact that we've seen the Lakers go through, and like you said it earlier, that we're spoiled and we're kind of being greedy and selfish, but we've seen the Lakers go through 5 trash years. It was a little more, it was maybe like 6, 7. It was like 7 trash years, like super, super trash.
Super trash.
And for Lakers, that's 30 years.
Yeah.
That's 30 years for us. So I seen Earl Clark, and I thought he was the GOAT. Andrew Gulak, I thought
Jordan
he was
Hill.
the one. Jordan Hill, I still got your autograph, my man. I still defended that Ramon Sessions was going to be the one that brought us back to the promised land.
But shout out all my Lakers, though, all my former Lakers. Held it down. We were down. It was all good, though. Got us where we needed to be.
Got us to where we needed to be, bro. And that is the Lakers are, I guess, the 2019-2020 champions. At this point, we're the 2020 champions.
2020 champions, period.
We won in the year that the unthinkable happened. There really shouldn't even have been a season, if you want to be real. We were able to get it done in the longest season ever. And credit
honestly,
to everyone,
the
man.
fact that we even finished this is even really a miracle. Shout out Adam Silver, shout out Rob Pelinka, shout out Jeannie Buss. Everybody did an unbelievable job. Shout out Chris Paul, president of the Players Association. Like, there's great leadership everywhere. Shout out LeBron James. Like, there were so many key moments in there just where leadership just showed its head, you know what I'm saying? So all that matters. So I think we have great leaders with Frank, LeBron. AD's becoming a great leader. Shout out Duds. You know?
Absolutely. And next episode, I can't really call it episodes, but next show, we're going to get into some of the trade targets, some of the free agent targets, and get into the offseason and talk about maybe what we think we should do. I'm going to throw up some names, and we're going to just, react, see how we feel. I'm sure we could talk for hours and days about that, because me and Matt literally text about it almost 24/7 at this point. Bro, during the regular season, every time a player was unhappy, I was like, yo, if he gets bought out and the Lakers could get
Or-
him. Like, we were active with it. So I can't wait to talk about that.
Mhm.
But as we were doing the shout-outs, I want to do one more shout-out, and that is to the man himself. What would we do if he really could have – he was really the deciding factor of everything, and that is Way Off P. I want to shout you out on two ends, man. If you never missed that shot that badly, you might have given the Clippers some hope. But you hit the side of the backboard, and it was
over from that. Honestly, that's what did it.
Kawhi was like, I ain't winning with this shit, man.
Doc was out.
Yeah, that literally put a bow on your season. So I want to thank you for that moment right there. I really do appreciate it. The last moment I want to thank you for is back in 2018. 2017. Back in 2017, you had the opportunity to become Los Angeles Laker. I want to thank you for not signing that contract and signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know where would we be without you right now. So, because of you, we got LeBron James. Because of you, we traded all those kids and got Anthony Davis. Because of you, the Clippers lost in the Western Conference Finals. I'm sorry. You didn't make it that far. Western Conference semifinals. So I want to thank you, Paul George. You had a spectacular run on being really one of the Lakers MVPs. So you're not going to get your jersey retired anywhere. I really, PG-13, 20, you were 24 before. Thank God you took them numbers off your back. 13.
Easy 13%.
You can't get it really retired in Pacers because you barely had the number there. The Thunder, you stunk it up. You did pretty good, but, Russell Westbrook stunk it up, so you couldn't do that. The Clippers, you're probably out of there after this year ends, so you're not getting your jersey retired at all. But you know what? Just like the Clippers hang the championship banner that they won on Christmas Day, we could hang your jersey somewhere in the rafters with, like, Taylor Swift banner and shit like that, and just say, the what if Paul George signed to the Lakers, we would not have the 2020 chip. So thank you so much. Any thank yous from you, Matt, before we get out of here?
First of all, that was a great spiel, I just want to say. And, shout out Laker Nation. We here. Shout out Lake Show. Got the job finished.
Job finished, man. Shout out to Dudley.
Big shout out Duds. Big Duds.
All right. Well, if that's everything, man, we've been talking this Lakers Jazz for some time now. Like I said, I already got my notes written for the next episode, the next show, probably around the same time next week. We're going to talk about the trade targets, free agency, Lakers free agency. Who should we keep? Who should we ship? I'm not going to give away any ideas who we should Danny Green right now. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus or I don't want to, ride the bus and leave somebody cook. But we'll definitely talk about it. We'll talk about who we want gone and who we want to stay Dudley. Next time we on this. With all that being said, come on, man. You know the vibes. Big ship. We're going to talk about it all year, though. We got all year. We got the rest of the year.
Yes, sir.
Until the ball's tipped up of next season's play, Lakers are the best team in the league. Let's get that straight. And we're the team to beat. So with that being said, if I don't see you, have a good evening, afternoon, and good night. There we go.
Come, hope I'm ready when she do all the good, I way too young. Hope I ain't good enough for you. If I ever get caught up, hope it ain't shit left I could prove. Cause I'm only 21, ain't got